All right, use your ruler to complete the following problems. Notice the scale on the map shown above only gives kilometers and miles. We have kilometers on top, miles on the bottom. Use your ruler to determine how many inches represents 0.5 miles. So I got out my ruler and my book, and I measured from here to the end, because that would be half a mile. And when I did mine, I found out that from here to here was 1 1/4 inches. All right, so you're going to need to get a ruler and measure that, and on mine it was 1 1/4 inches. If you don't have a ruler at home, then just use my information that this distance is 1 1/4 inch. So on my map, every 1 1/4 inch is going to be half of a mile. All right, so use your ruler to determine how many inches represents half a mile. So I know the answer to that is 1 1/4 inches. All right, so what is the distance on the map from Sentinel Falls to Sentinel Dome? So Sentinel Fall is here to the dome here. So I get out my ruler and I'm going to measure that. And I find out that it is 1 5/8 inches. So the distance on my map from here to here is 1 5/8 inches on my map. That's a big N. So what is the distance from the falls to the dome? So I know that when I measure on the map, this is 1 1/4 inches. So I want to know how many miles that is. All right, so let's see. So I know that from here to here, get my writing on here. So I know that from here to here, when I measured it out, was 1 5/8. And yours may be a little different depending on your book. Sometimes they have some different variations when they print books, but I found this to be 1 5/8 inches. I want to know how far that is in real life. So here would be my suggestion. I'm going to start with my true statement. If you remember from earlier, we found out that this is my true statement. 1 1/4 inches is the same thing as 5, or not 5, but 0.5 miles in real life. So that's my true statement from earlier. I want to get myself to 1 5/8 inches. All right, so this one's a little bit harder. So what can I do to go from 1 1/2 or 1 1/4 to 1 5/8? Here is what I would suggest, and this works almost every single time for any type of story problem. I'm going to work my way to 1 inch, because if I knew about 1 inch, then I could work my way up to 1 5/8 inches. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to divide 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, because that will give me 1 inch. Anytime I divide a number by itself, I get 1. Now, if I divide the top by 1 1/4, then I have to divide the bottom by 1 1/4. So now, look at the problem that we have. 0.5 miles times 1 1/4. Well, I'm going to turn this into a fraction. So this now becomes 1/2. There's my fraction. When I divide fractions, remember we keep it, we change it to multiplication, and then we flip it upside down. Well, this would be 5/4. So when I flip it upside down, it becomes 4/5. All right, so this is my division. Keep it, change it to multiplication. I flip this upside down. Now when I do the multiplication, I get 2/5. So I know this, and this is why it's important to show our work and to label things. So what I just did is I just found out that 1 mile is 2/5, or 1 inch is 2/5 of a mile. Now I can work up to 1 5/8. So what I can do now is I can multiply this by 1 5/8. That will get me the 1 5/8 I wanted. But now I also have to multiply the bottom by 1 5/8. Okay, so notice how I got myself to 1, so I can work my way up. So now I got to do this math. So I'm going to do that over here. So 2/5 times 1 and 5/8, which would be 13/8. And cross cancel, that's a 1, that's a 4. This now becomes 13/20. So I know that 1 and 5/8 on the map is going to be 13/20 in real life. And sorry for writing over words and stuff, making this hard, but 1 and 1/5/8 inches on the map is 13/20 of a mile in real life. So a little bit over half of a mile. So this is the key. So what did I do? I wrote down my true statement. I figured out what I could do to get to 1 inch. Then once I got to 1 inch, then I had to work my way up to 1 and 5/8, and I did that by multiplying top and bottom by 1 and 5/8.